fractions basically are decimals. They're the same as decimals. They just look different. So fractions and decimals are both just bits of a number. It's when you don't have any whole numbers, but you've still got a bit. So 0.4, that's a decimal number, isn't it? It's got a decimal point in it. 0.4 is a decimal number, but it's actually also a fraction because fractions and decimals are both bits. If I put the hats on this decimal number, this is the units column, comes before the point, and you'll see this is the tenths column. We've talked about this before in other videos, the tenths column. That the header, the hat, the cap is actually a fraction, 1/10, 1/10. And we've got a 4 in that column. So as a fraction, we can say we have 4 in the tenths column, we have 4 tenths. So 0.4 is a decimal number, and 4 tenths is a fraction. They're both worth the same. And there's a picture over here that also shows you 4 tenths, because on this picture of a circle you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 parts. I counted the green parts, 10 parts, and 4 of them are coloured in, so 4 tenths. That's what 4 tenths of a circle looks like when the circle is split into 10 bits and you have 4 of them. So that is why a decimal is the same as a fraction, it just looks different. Underneath I'll write another decimal number, 0.35, that's right, isn't it, Mr. Blum? Mm-hmm. 0.35. What's that as a fraction? Well, you don't even need to put the hats on every time to do this, but I will. Units, the tenths column, and the hundredths column.
But I would say one of the best parts of actually doing hats and caps, the way you do it with the decimal places, is that you've got the literal fraction there. You just have to say how many hundredths are there? 35 hundredths. How many tenths? 3 tenths. It's just so easy to then transfer it from decimals to fractions.
So what we have 3 tenths and we have 5 hundredths. But like Mr. Blom says, we can just say 35 hundredths. And that's the fraction, 35 hundredths. So changing decimals into fractions is quite easy because you can see the 35 becomes 35 out of 100. So with the decimals, we have less than a whole one because we have 0 point something, less than a whole one. And with fractions, 35 hundredths is less than a whole one. I'm going to highlight this big square over here with purple around the edge. So there's one big square, but it's split into a lot of little parts, isn't it? In fact, 100 little parts inside. So of this one big square, we've got 35 parts coloured in dark green out of 100. So we haven't got the whole square coloured in. We've just got 35 of the little squares coloured in. So we have less than the whole one, less than the whole picture. Okay? So 0.35 as a decimal is 35 hundredths. They're both just bits, they're both just parts. So fractions, like decimals, are just little bits of something.